guys, it's Dawn Marie with Custom Comfy Crochet, and today we are going to learn how to make a beginner friendly, easy beanie using some puffy yarn, thick yarn, and a really big crochet hook. Okay, so this is Bernay baby yarn that I was using to make those scrunchies with, and I'm going to make some beanies out of it with the leftover yarn I have. And I thought how luxurious it would be to have a really great fluffy beanie with this bulky yarn. Okay, so depending upon what bulky yarn you use, it's going to call for different size hooks. This one, I'm not even sure that it called for a 10. It may have even called for an 8 or a 9. I don't remember because I lost the tag thing that goes around it, but I'm using a 10mm hook or a size N. You will need a pair of scissors, and you will also need a darning needle. Now, this yarn is pretty thick, so if you have a big darning needle, you can use that. I don't. I've lost mine somewhere. So I'm going to show you how I put it in here, which is just basically trying my best to get into a smaller hole. But yeah, the bigger ones work better. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to move this out of the way. Okay. So the first thing that you're going to do for this easy beanie is you're going to make a slip knot. Okay. Now, while this beanie is easy, there is one thing that makes it a little bit difficult, and that just happens to be the type of yarn I'm using, because it is hard to see your stitches with this thick yarn. But if you're using a bulky yarn, and it could be a little bit different, and your stitches could be a little bit easier to see, but you'll just have to find that out. But I'm going to show you, if you're using this one, how to do it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now this is going to be the rim for your beanie. Okay, so what we're working on now is this part right here, this rim piece right here. Okay, so you chain 7, and then you're going to single crochet your way back down. Okay, so I'm gonna go right into my next stitch here, this chain right here. So I'm not going to work into this one where this is coming out of. Okay, I'm going to go into my next one right there. Now, that's what I'm saying. They are a little hard to see, but I can see the V's there and there and there and there and there. So I know I need to go through there, okay? So I'm going to go right into this one. And you do want to count for this, especially with bulky yarn that you can't see well. So there's 1. Go into the next. There's 2. There's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6. Okay? So that's how many you're going to have when you go back down, and that's how many you're going to have from now on as we're working our way up, okay? So the next thing I want you to do is chain 1, turn your work, and now you're going to be working again in this stitch right here. So you're not going to be working in this chain 1 you did, you're going to be working into this one. But it's very important that you get this one, so that's why I said you want to count. Now going back across now, we're only going to be working into the back loop, and this is what gives it its ribbed effect for the rim of your hat. So we're going to be going only through the back loop and doing a single crochet. So there's 1, then we're only going to go through the back loop, single crochet, there's 2, only through the back loop, there's 3, 4, 5, and then right here 6. Okay, So as you can see the front loop and the back loop here, okay? So I'm gonna slow this down for the next round so you can see it a little bit better. I do tend to go a little fast. So you chain one again, turn your work, and now you wanna make sure that you get into this first space here. So you're not working into this one, okay? And which would be hard for you to do anyway, because you would just pull this back out. But you're gonna be working into this one right here, and you're going to be working in the back loop. So if I turn this from the side, this is what it looks like. You can't really see the V. When I turn it to the front, up here, I can see the V. So make sure that you're looking at the top of your work and that you're going through the back loop of that V. So I'm going right through there for a single crochet. So there's one, back loop, 2, back loop, 3, back loop, 4, back loop, 5, back loop, 6, okay? Now this last one here is going to be probably the hardest one it is to find the back loop on. If for some reason you don't, this is still going to turn out beautiful. You really just want to try to get the ribbed effect as much as you can, okay? But if for some reason you get to the end and you can't find it and you have to go through both, or you're not sure if you're finding the back loop, don't give up, just keep going, okay? So I'm going to do a few more rows with you, but just so you know, you're going to keep going, and this is going to keep getting longer this way. So it's going to be this size and longer this way. You're going to keep going till it fits around your head or around the person's head that you're making this for. So if you're making it for a child or someone else, you're going to need to know kind of about the measurements of their head, okay? So when I made this, I just did it to go around my head, and I knew that that would fit, you know, a young 12 to adult, okay? So I'm going to chain one again, turn my work. Again, I'm going into this stitch right here, okay? Into the back loop for a single crochet. So there's one. Again in the back loop, 2. Again in the back loop, 3. Again in the back loop, 4, again in the back loop, 5, again in the back loop, 6. And another pointer when you're using yarn like this so that you can see everything, you want to make your stitches loose, but not too loose. So you just want to be relaxed when you're making them, okay? You don't want to be tightening up on everything. Just try to be relaxed, and it'll make it easier to see these as you go along, okay? So let's just do one more. Chain one, turn your work, go into this first one here, into the back loop. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And see, that's kind of hard for me to get into, so I just kind of use my nail and push my hook through. If you don't have a nail, you can use the tip of your thing and go in like that, you see, and then turn and go in, okay? So that's what it looks like, and when you're going into the back loop, that is what creates these ridges, okay? And this is a ribbing rim effect that you can use for any hat that you make, okay? So again, just keep going till it fits around your head properly. And when it fits around your head, remember that yarn stretches. So when you go to put this around your head to check, kind of pull on it just a little bit to see where it's meeting at the end around your head. And that'll give you a better idea of how long you go. Because if you just loosely put it around your head to check and see the circumference, you're not going to get a real thing, because when you put the beanie on, it's going to stretch a little bit. So just remember that, and just keep going along until you get the length that you need. You're just going to keep doing that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Chain 1, turn your work, go in the back loop only, and count to 6, and don't give up. Okay, so I have one already finished here. And this is for my head, and it looks huge. And one of the reasons why this looks so big is because it is a puffy yarn. So it looks quite a bit bigger than you would think. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, now you should have finished this and gotten it to the point that you needed. Okay, so we're now going to place this together. I'm gonna pull up my camera a little bit more so that, sorry about that, my whole hand was in the way, but so that you can see everything. But so what you're going to do is you're going to lay this flat like this. This side should be down there where you tied off, where you begun, excuse me. And then here you still got where you know, did this. But actually I'm going to turn it over this way, because I want to make sure that this lines up with this side over here and this is over here. I hope that makes sense. So this is the end. And this is where you were just finished, where you've already finished this. And then you're going to put this together just like that, okay? So you want those to be lined up that way, because we're going to slip stitch these together. So you finished, you've got what you needed, and now we're going to put them together. And you need 6 slip stitches across the top. So now what we're going to do is you're going to... and make sure I have this right here. You're going to go right in to this space right here underneath both V's, okay? So I'm going underneath both V's, and then I'm going to try to go underneath both on this side. Again, it's no big deal. We're going to turn this inside out. You won't be able to see it. But we're going to pull through for a slip stitch. Okay, let me show you that again. So there's 1, so you know we need 6 across. I'm going under both V's here. I'm trying to find the 2 on the other side, and I'm pulling through just like that for a slip stitch. So there's 2. There's 3. There's 4. There's 5. And the last one, 6. Okay. And there we've put our rim together. Okay. Just like that. So now you're going to go like this. You're going to have this string hanging right here. And now we've put this all together. So now we're going to start on the actual big part of our beanie, okay? So I'm going to show you exactly what to do. And what you're going to do is you're going to go around and do half double crochets to start, okay? So I'm going to count up, I'm going to chain up one right there. And then on that same spot that I just worked into, I'm going to put a half double crochet. So right where you did your last slip stitch, you're going to put a half double crochet. So there's 1. And I'm just going wherever I see a hole. There's no exact place to put it, but we're going to count together so you know how many you need. So there's 1. And then to do a half double crochet, I'm going to go in, pull up my yarn. I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to go through all 3. So there's 2, and again I'm just finding any place to put a half double crochet. So there's 3, there's 4. Wow, let me do that 4th one again. So again, going in, pulling up, got 3 loops on my hook, go through all 3. And there's 5. And 6. And 7. And 8. Okay, so that's what it looks like. We're on 8, and I just wanted to show you. You're just doing half double crochets all the way around, any place that you can find. Okay, so there's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and you see I'm just going around, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Let's do 35 again. 35, 36, 37, and 38. So you're going to need 38 around, okay? So if you want to do it the way I've done it, you're going to half double crochet 38 around wherever you can find a space, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to slip stitch into our first half double crochet. So right here, I don't know if you can see it, but that was a chain 1. So I'm going to go in right there. Now again, if you cannot find exactly where the last half double crochet was, that's okay. This is a very forgiving pattern, especially when you're using the thick puffy yarn, okay? But I'm going to try to find right there for that half double crochet, okay? So that's what it looks like. So we've done our rim, we've done our half double crochets, and now I'm going to show you what you need to do to get it to go up, okay, for your actual beanie. So this is really simple, really easy. You're going to chain 3 right where you just joined. And in that same spot, you're going to put 2 more double crochets. Now, in case you don't remember how to do a double crochet or you don't know how, you're going to yarn over your hook, go into the space, pull up your yarn. You have 3 loops on your hook, go through 2, go through 2. And then we'll need another one. Again, yarn over, go through your space, pull up your yarn, go through 2, go through 2. And that's what you need right now. Right there is 3 double crochets, and that chain of 3 counted as your first one. So now what you're going to do is you're going to skip 2 stitches. So I'm making sure that this is pulled back because this puffy yarn can tend to go over your next stitch. But I'm going to skip this one and I'm going to skip that one, and then I'm going to go into my third for a double crochet. So I'm going to yarn over, go into that third stitch and do a double crochet 3 times. So there's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. Okay, and then again I'm going to skip 1 and 2 and go into my next one with a double crochet right there. Okay, so there's 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, so let me show you what that looks like so far. That's what it looks like right there. Okay, so again, I'm going to skip 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets into the third. So 1, 2, into the third, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to keep doing that all the way around. I am going to show you how to finish this one row, so we're going to do it on camera because I'm going to show you how to do the next. And then you'll know that you're just going to repeat this for as long as you need for your head, okay? So then we're going to skip the next 2. Remember, pull this yarn back so you can see 1 and 2. Go into the next and do 3 double crochets. Now, with this thick yarn, sometimes you will go underneath. I think I did that with one over here. Instead of, you'll think you're going through and you're not, your hook just kind of slips down. It's okay, no big deal. If you happen to go under the stitch, you can do that as well. It looks better if you go through the actual stitch, but if you go under into the hole, that's okay too, okay? But we're going to go right into the middle of that stitch, hopefully, and we'll do 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now I'm going to move a little bit quicker so that we can get this row done. So remember pulling that back some so I can see 1, 2, go into my next, 1, 2, and 3. One, 2, and 3. And see, I'm missing it right there, but I don't care. I'm going to keep going. 1, 2, and 3. And if you're not using this kind of fluffy yarn, you may not have these problems. If you're using a fluffy yarn, but it has more of a, it's not as, well, let me put it this way. If you're using a thicker yarn, but it's not this fluffy, you may not have as many problems as I am having about being able to see the stitches and all that. So I hope that this is okay. Okay, so skip 2, go into my next, 3 double crochets. Skip 2, onto the third, skip 2, go into the third. Now, when you're making this, like I said, it's going to seem very large. That's okay. It's going to look great on. Also, when you're making this brim here and you're making these 3 double crochets and skipping 2, you are going to notice that there is a hole there, okay? And some people might think, well, that's a little too big for a beanie, but I promise you, I did one and it looks great on, okay? So, again, skip 2. Again, skip 2. It's so weird using such a big hook. I'm not used to that at all. Okay, and so we're right back here to the end. Depending upon, okay, I have 2 left. So exactly with 38, I have 2 left, but it looks like you have 3, but you really don't, because this is going out of that. So that's one of those fake stitches. So you have 2 left. So even if it looks like 3, don't worry about it. Just keep going. Now, if you happen to have messed up on your count and you get here and you have, like, you know, 4 or 5 stitches, you'll probably want to do another one of these and then slip stitch to close, but that's totally up to you, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the top of our chain 3 that we did, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to slip stitch into the very top of that, okay? Just like this. And that will end that row, okay? And this is what it looks like. Let me make sure. Okay? So there's how you're going to start it right there, okay? So you slip stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do the second round, and from here on out, all the other rounds are exactly the same, okay? Not that there's that many, because this is a huge yarn. And that will also depend on your yarn. If your yarn isn't as thick as mine, you may need more rows to cover the head, okay? But so we just ended here with our slip stitch. So we're going to chain up 3. So we're essentially going to do what we did before, but where we place it is just a little bit different, okay? So I'm going to work right back into this hole here. I'm not going to go into a stitch. So I'm going to go 2 more double crochets. There's 1 and there's 2, because that first one counted as 1 double crochet. Okay? So there's 3. Now we're going to skip 2 again, and that lands us right in the middle of this one, okay? So right in the middle of this one, we're going to do 3 double crochets again. 1, 2, and 3. I really need to stop looking through my camera. Okay? And again, you're going to skip these 2. So you're going to skip this whole thing right here, those 2, and you're going to work into this, right in the middle there, and do 3 double crochets. I'm sorry, my cat's on the table scratching, and he's shaking the entire table. Stop it. Okay, he's out of the screen right now. Let me show you real quick. He's hiding behind the plants. Okay, so you did your 3 double crochets, and now you're just going to keep doing that in each one of these. So I'm going to go to my next and do another 3 double crochets. And like I said, you're just going to keep doing this all the way around. And when you get to the end, you're going to slip stitch just like we did last time into the top of that chain of 3, okay? So this is what it looks like, okay, as you're going up further, just like that. And so then when you get to the end, right over here, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain of 3, okay? So you're just going to keep going all the way around, and you're going to do that for as many rows as you need to fit your head. So you can try it on as you're doing it, or you can try it on whoever you're making it for, or you can, once you do the rim, and you can get an idea of how, you know, big it needs to be for the person's head. Now, taking into account that my head would fit probably 12, 11, around that age, 11 to, you know, adult. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Okay, so I did 5 rows of these 3 double crochets, including the first one. Now, another thing, that is how you count these. It is easier to count from the side, okay? So instead of straight up, if you go straight up, it's going to be confusing. So if you just go from the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that lets you know how many rows you have. So I had 5 rows and it fits my head perfectly, so it may fit yours unless you have a tiny head or a huge head. I think my head's pretty average. Okay, so once you've done all that and you've gotten up to the top and you've done your slip stitch, now I'm going to show you what to do to end off this beanie, and it's really easy. There's no decreasing, and that's why I wanted to do this for a beginner. Okay, so you're going to cut off about 3 feet of your yarn, okay, because we're going to work this in the top to close it. Then you're going to take your darning needle and you're going to try to work it in to either a small hook or you've got a big one, but that actually went on pretty good. Wow. Okay, so I push that through my darning needle and I'm going to leave a little bit hanging off there, just like that. And now I'm going to start where okay, hold on just a second. This is a lot of yarn. First of all, I should have ended this, but since I didn't, I'm just simply going to pull this through that loop that I had left, and I'm just going to pull tight, okay, right there, just like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and out of every stitch to pull this together. So I'm going to go in through there, out through there, and I'm trying to go through both V's, under both V's, just like that. And I'm going to go in and out. Now, if you don't have a darning needle, you could just go in and out with a hook if you wanted to, okay? Like, you could take your hook and just keep pulling in and out, in and out, in and out of each place. But this is a lot easier, okay? So I'm going to go through there. I'm going to go through as much as I can, and then I'm going to pull, okay? And then I'm going to do, again, weaving through each one just like this, in and out, in and out, until I get my needle pretty full, and then I'm going to pull through again. And what you're doing by weaving this in and out is by the time we get done and we pull on this, it's going to pull the whole beanie together, okay? And it's just really easy, especially for beginners. And you know, I'm not a beginner, and I still enjoy doing this sometimes because it's just so much easier than doing a decrease, and it makes a pretty hat. And this is also good for slouchy beanies. If you wanted to keep going with this pattern, you could have kept going for several more rows, and if you kept going and going, it would make a slouchy beanie. And then you could still do this. It would just go further down on the head. If you've seen those, you could do that with this pattern as well. And as you see, as I pull, it's already starting to come together, okay? So in and out, trying to go through both V's. But again, if you don't, it's not the end of the world. It's still going to cinch up, but it would look better, possibly, if you go through both. Okay. I'm going through as many as I can. And then I'm going right back to the next one, in and out. In and out. I think I did a little too many that time on that needle. Okay. And again, right to the next, in and out. And if you wanted to put a stitch marker where you were going to start at, it might help you to know where you need to stop and start at. I can just kind of tell that I'm right at where I ended. So I can pull this now, okay? So now I've gone through all my loops, and now I'm going to pull it as tight as I can. And look at that, you've closed the top of your beanie, okay? So now what I'm going to do is, there is a little bit of a hole there, right there. So I'm just going to take my darning needle, or you could use your hook if you need to. And I'm just going to go back and forth to close up this tiny little hole right up at the top, okay? So I'm just going to try to catch both sides here. And I'm just going through. Sorry, I hit my camera. So again, I'm just going back and forth trying to close up that hole that's there. And it's a small hole, so you don't need to do this too many times. And as you can see now, it's closed up. So if I put my hand through here, you know, you can see you can't even see my nail through there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this back through the middle. So I'm going to push it back through the middle of my beanie. Okay, just like that. And now I'm going to work this piece in, okay? So I'm going into where we just pulled that through, because that's where my yarn's coming out. And I'm going to work this in 3 times wherever I can, okay? So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then I can simply cut off and know that that's not going to come undone, okay? And now you're going to need to work in this piece right here, and then you're all done with your beanie. Now, these beanies I think look really good with a little puff on the top. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do a puff for the top of this, okay? Just a real quick one, okay? Let's see here. Hold on just a second. Grab some yarn. So what I would do is I would just put this yarn right through my pinky right there, and I would just start wrapping around, okay? So I'm going to count just so you'll know. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Okay, so I just wrap that around my hand 30 times. I'm going to cut off right there. And then I'm going to take a piece of yarn cut off from the same material, the same skein. Okay, look how red my hand is from wrapping it. So then I'm going to, oh, how do I normally do this? I go right through the middle, okay? So between these 4 fingers, right through the middle. And oh goodness, I can't remember how I usually do this. I go under right here, okay? And then I think I go out the other side. It's been so long, I literally cannot remember how I do it. But anyways, okay, you would normally do that, but I'm just gonna take this off my hand because I can't remember how to do it. You can just take it off just like that. Lay your piece out flat, since I can't remember, and then just go through the middle right here. And if you would like, there are probably better videos on how to make a puff stitch. I mean a puff. But then I just go right through the middle there with this piece of yarn. And I do it about 3 times. Okay. then this is what I hold right here. I hold that little piece right there. And then I'm going to go around the edges here and start cutting. Okay. Now, if you don't have any kids in the house who know how to make these, let them make one for you. Okay, but you're just going to go around and cut all the little ends after you put that piece in the middle. And then you shake it, make a mess. Make sure you got them all undone. And then you take your hand and you do like this. And then you start cutting all your ends off to make your puff. And these scissors are not as sharp as they should be. You really need a good pair of sharp scissors for this. Okay, but the key to making a perfect puff is to just keep cutting. And we don't have time to do that on this video, but basically you just keep cutting and cutting and cutting till you get it to look the way you want it to. Like that needs to be cut a lot more, okay? But you just keep cutting on the top until it gets smaller and even. You just keep cutting all the way around, holding your hand like this, like that. See, I can see they're uneven, so I would just go back again, and then I would do it again and do this, and I would keep going till I got it smooth. And then you would take these two ends, and each with a darning needle or a hook, whichever you prefer, you would go right through the top right there, and then you would sew it in, and you would have a puff for the top of your beanie. But you don't have to do that. You can leave it just as is. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope it was super easy for you to learn how to do. It really is a fun and easy project, and this yarn feels so soft. It's so luxurious. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're on Facebook, do the same thing. And happy crocheting, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.